talking about collective participation in the media, taking advantage of multimedia platforms. I'd like to give a big shout out to a proxy of the Ambazonian government, Kemi Ashu. And I'm calling on all Ambazonians who are watching. You need to support our platform. If you cannot start a platform like ours, you can be on TikTok. Endeavor to send her stars that will promote her. Cameroon is doing that and giving a lot of money to their proxies like for Hansen, Mimi Mefo, and a whole lot of them. And we need to do exactly the same. You've heard the president's framework, and it's a framework that worked during the US election. Trump did mobilize. He understood that the left had mainstream. He took advantage of podcasts and TikTok. President also mentioned that the team is working hard to ensure not just a lockdown, but to defy Cameroon's act of organizing a Sako election in Ambazonia. I understand that your government successfully enabled the nation of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia in 2018 to boycott Cameroon's election. Looking at the resources you have right now, I'm talking about human and material resources, using looking at the evolution of your government when it comes to the mastery of sustaining this war for over 7 years. Do you think Ambazonia able? People of Ambazonia are willing, but we see people dying every day by the military. Do you think strategically you will be able to ensure that French Cameroon's election doesn't take place in Ambazonia? And how do you want the people, particularly on the ground, to participate to ensure that your strategy is fully implemented?
For the purpose of this interview and going forward, we don't refer to what is happening, the charade, we don't refer to it as election. It's a selection. So it is a La République du Cameroon selection. That's what is going on, and that's the truth. So the resolve of our people, first of all, our resistance is by nature a peaceful resistance. Our people have decided to peacefully resist the occupation and take back their country with peace plans and with civil demonstrations, no violence. We are forced to defend ourselves because of the posture of the occupation. They decided to resort to brutal acts of atrocities, flew helicopter gunships, shooting us like game, entering, breaking houses, and pulling out our children from 14 years old and slaughtering them, terrorizing us. We were forced to defend ourselves. So the core of our resistance is not self-defense; it's a civil disobedience. That's the core of the struggle. That's where we started. That's why those people who advocate that we should stop ghost town are crazy. That's the core of the struggle. Those who are now self-defending is because of the increased atrocity crimes that were committed against our people, and the natural instinct is survival, and that will lead to self-defense where we are right now. So the strength of our struggle does not rely on how many people are with guns and machetes and weapons, so trying to survive and defend themselves. No, it's with the people. If the people of Ambazonia are where I see that they are, because we have not allowed La République and colonial authorities and the agents of that court to persuade them otherwise, to change, to control the narrative, to deceive them. We have opened more eyes than it were in 2017. People have understanding of what happened and where we are and why we have taken this position. So that revolution already has taproots. The taproot of the knowledge, the resolve, the dedication, the resolve to be free. So that's what gives us strength. And I believe that no matter what the Republic does, they initially they used to tell us that the people are not obeying Ghost Town because they believe there is any cause they believe in. They are only doing so because of fear. That is ridiculous. When you look at the people from Sako to Abakwa, from Abakwa to Boyo and Dogamanto, no, that how many police people, how many people with guns do you need to intimidate uh, intimidate 6 to 7 million people in the home front to obey Ghost Town? No, it is the people's resolve. And that's why I want to tell you that we have the people's resolve, that we cannot be the slaves of any Isingan cult. No, we are resolved that the solution is not to wait for a lizard to become a crocodile, but to go our separate ways. And our survival relies on our separation. It does not rely on waiting for when the lizard shall transform into a crocodile, then we shall be saved. No, that resolve is across the board. Even to babies who sing our anthem, that's what they identify. Take babies at random, take them to one corner and say, just don't tell them which anthem, just tell them sing the anthem. You will know for yourself where they belong, where the future is. We have made it, we have resolved. And that result today, we are stronger than when we started. When we started, some of us were the opinion leaders, trying to educate, trying to bring the people to understanding. Today, we have made more leaders who, by reason of their understanding, that provide leadership on the issues. And the people understand that they struggle better now than it was several years ago. So in addition to those who have kept the struggle alive in the trenches for the past 7 years, plus this momentum that we have within the people, with the understanding that they now have, I can tell you that together we will ensure that there is no election, no selection taking place in Ambazonia. Their selection exercise will end with their court in Yaoundé. It will not take place. And we are not ignorant of the fact that whether we take part in the selection or not, there will still be results. So don't get mad, because we will make sure that we make it impossible for anybody, any observer, to believe that even one person voted in Ambazonia. We will make sure that we are putting everything in place to make sure that even the blind observer will come to the conclusion that nobody voted in Ambazonia. But wait and see when the results, which are being prepared right now as we speak, they are already preparing their results. Because it's a selection process. That's how calls do. Calls don't organize selection. They organize selection. And it is found in secrecy, total secrecy. That's what they are doing. They are putting their numbers. They will tell you some fantastic numbers that you argue, you will wonder where these people exist at all. And when they even came out to vote, that doesn't matter for them. Whatever the court declares, the gods have spoken. Nobody goes against that. So we are very, very sure that scenario will repeat itself. But for the observers who are going to report on that election, I can assure you that when the 12th of October has come and gone, they will be able to say the Southern Cameroon did not take part in this election. That one is a problem.
I enjoy the confidence with which you used to share what you're sharing. I can also remember Kamto in 2018 would only admit that there was no election after his ballot boxes had been stolen, or there was no selection, like you place it. Sorry for that mistake.